Hey guys, welcome back. It's Chris and Nick here with another episode of Coaching Conversations. We're here bright and early on another Monday morning, ready to kick into it. Nick, how are you this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I got to rest yesterday, which is good because it was a rainy day here in Sydney. But hey, man, sometimes you just got to Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill, or as I did, cleaning and
non-chill.
Not so chill. Let's get into it. Right, our first question today, and if you're needing help with marketing or if you need some marketing insights, this question's for you guys. Nick, what's your best piece of marketing advice for our current economic or current business environment in Australia? So what's your best piece of marketing advice right now?
First, if you can buy a crystal ball, buy a crystal ball. That would be
so get out there and get yourselves a crystal ball, guys.
That's the best marketing advice I can give you. Buy a crystal ball. Look, I consider it like this. The world has always had ups and downs. I mean, people don't remember, but till not that long ago, we were invading Iraq and Afghanistan. And it was war. That's all we heard. And those wars have been going, funny enough, for about 10 or 15, actually almost 20 years, right? Crazy, right? And, you know, the Twin Towers and then an earthquake and then something. There's always something. And in Australia, you know, just before COVID, it was bushfires, right? Oh, my God, devastating. You know, all of these things that happen. And I know we spoke about it, I think, in the previous episode where we said you can either be the thermostat or the thermometer. And I mean, what's that got to do with marketing? The thermometer is I go up and down depending on what the environment's going to be. So if I make money, market. If I don't make money, shut off all marketing. It's the absolute wrong approach. Well, number two, you can be the thermostat and you go, hey, these are my goals. This is where we're heading. And you organize marketing according to that. So to me, especially in an environment like this, and it's interesting, you know, we know, you and I personally know, without mentioning names, you know, somebody that's actually on the stock market today had a massive win earlier in the COVID and now maybe not as good. And why? Because, you know, he bought low, things bounced back. They were really cool and it seems like they've stabilized out. So the world, even if you look at fuel, is stabilized out today, right? Fuel's back up to where it normally is before. It was
that's right.
80 cents a litre.
Yeah.
Now, why do I say that? I say that because in all economic downturn situations, there's always going to be somebody that prospers. And you could see this from the Great Depression all the way through to when alcohol was illegal in the US, you know,
Prohibition,
all of these. So the people that actually kept moving forward got the most gains. So for me, from a marketing opportunity, I think you need to be really clever. And here's what I mean by that. Traditionally, if you've just only used one level of marketing, you know, let's call it funnel, or one level of marketing pathway, I believe today you need multiple levels. Why? Because, you know, everybody's environment's changed from the perspective of they used to be on the train going to work and looking at your stuff, or they used to sit at the office desk in between stuff. But today, guess what? You know, 30% of the population, or maybe even more, let's look at Victoria, you know, as we're recording this podcast, we're in lockdown. So guess what? You know, you got a hell of a lot more time sitting in front of your computer. So it makes sense that you've got some type of online level of connection. And to me, the social media platforms have been really, really busy. So, you know, things like Facebook, things like Insta, Snapchat, any of these, and or if you're a younger demographic and your audience is younger, I would definitely look at TikTok, right? Because there's opportunities there coming. And then, funny enough, there's still people that are doing stuff around the local community. So things like still, you know, going for a walk, because even in lockdown, you can still go for a walk around the streets. Things like, so if you're in, let's say, in building, gardening, or any of these type of things that you do, makes sense that you've got street signs out now because people are still in their local community, going to their local shops, their local community. So to me, having, whether it's signage up on park, you know, fences, a lot of councils are pretty lenient with that. So you could do that. Can you possibly have a booth or a stall that's near a shop that you would, per se, you know, go do grocery shoppings, if that's allowed within a mall? And a lot of these type of malls are still environments where people can still go. So if you've got something there and they're walking past it, you still got an ability. And you've got to check with your councils, all that type of stuff, obviously, right?
Right.
So having that online part versus the offline part are really, really critical. Now, if you tell me what's the best piece of marketing to do, my approach would be twofold. Number one, what can you teach? And here's what I mean. The 5 things you need to know when choosing, a great florist, as an example. Are the flowers fresh? Do they come from the market every day? Have they got arrangement industry experience? Is the cover on the flowers look nice? The paper, because you can get a shitty piece of paper, you can get a nice piece of paper in plastic.
Yeah.
All of those things that make it look beautiful. Are they proactive? Do they really understand the difference between funeral flowers and birthday flowers, or birth flowers? Any of those type of things. And that's just a little education piece that a lot of people go, oh, I thought all florists were the same. But in actual fact, we send flowers to our clients, and I've sent it to my wife, and all of that type of stuff. So not all florists are bloody equal. That's for sure. To be honest, I think there's a massive variety of how they set the bouquets up, and the little things, the ribbon, how it's versus you go to Coles Flowers and they look not that happy.
You're getting them out of the bucket.
Exactly, get them out of the bucket, right? So that little thing, that's an education piece. Today, because the building industry is pushing hard, and government support, that same thing. 5 things you need to know when DIYing your bathroom. And it sounds funny if you're a bathroom renovator sending information out on how somebody can DIY it, not use you, but DIY it. It feels like it's the wrong way around, where in actual fact it's showing that, hey, you want to educate first and add value first rather than ask for the business straight away. And 99.9% of the time, even if people are DIYing it, they're probably going to need somebody to do tiling or plumbing or, get the bases off it, right? Or design or any of those things. So add value, that I believe that should be the first approach. The second approach, I believe, needs to be an add value from a monetary perspective and or something that is of monetary perspective. And what I mean by that is, let's say if you're, somebody that does timber floors, I'm just going to go with that. Mm-hmm. If you could give away something like, it could be, free sample and design, 1 bedroom is free, something that adds value. It could be polishing, it could be, painting skirting boards that comes with the product. It could be, anything that goes with a floor at the end of the day. It could be cleaning product. Could be any of these type of things, or to go, hey, like the carpet cleaners do, hey, check us out on 1 and then we could do the other 3. Now, timber flooring is different. You can't just go, man, I'll rip it all up, put one thing of
one
floor
strip
down, and that's it. But they can definitely have a look at and say, look, if you purchase the whole house, if we need to do timber floor throughout the bedrooms and living room, all of that stuff, we're happy to give you, the 1 bedroom free or the 2 bedrooms free or whatever. Once again, what you're looking at here is not education value, but monetary value. Here's another example. It's one of our bathroom installations. We were just talking about that. Free underfloor heating. It's like $1,500 worth, give or take, at retail. We get it for a lot less than that, obviously.
Yeah.
But on a $20,000 bathroom, $1,500 is a pretty awesome thing to give. Yeah. So once again, people, I think, are looking for bargains, not necessarily the cheapest, but things like what value, extra value can you add by looking after somebody. And people like it when they go, hey, it used to be, $20,000, but we've got the package for $15,990. You know what I mean? They like that. Geez, it's pretty good. If you act now, I'm going to say 4 Gs. Now, the good thing is too, anybody who's watching this, guess what? I put a post up yesterday and I asked, when do we think international travel is going to be?
I saw that.
I don't know if you saw that, Chris, but I had 30 people. And most people are going 2022, 2023, and 2020. So that's at least 2 years. 90% of people said that. And we've got some friends that work for Qantas and air hostesses and stuff like that. And they're July next year at a minimum to look at stuff. So why do I say that? Because people are going to spend money locally. If you're a restaurant and you're marketing, it makes sense that you can market to go, hey, come on down and get an extra dish for free or something like that. You want to be able to go, hey, you know what, we've got, actually, we're not using Uber Eats. We've got somebody that we use to come and deliver to you. So it's actually, you're saving $5 a delivery or something like that.
Yeah.
Deliveries on us.
And if you pay attention, or if you watch any form of television at the moment, the amount of different regions within Australia that are now doing television commercials to promote their areas, it's crazy. I think I saw the other night there were 4 different ads, one for Queensland. I think there was a New South Wales. There was a an area out in WA, and then maybe the Hunter Valley was doing one as well. So there was all these different regions that have gone, wow, like you said, international travel is probably off the cards. How do we get in front of our audience right now?
Okay,
Obviously.
completely. Yeah, I just booked Queensland, and the deal, once again, here comes a value deal. Normally, I know because last year I had to go out with the kids to, because my daughter was dancing and stuff, to Broadbeach literally at the same time.
Mm.
And I've just booked now from the 18th to the 26th or something like that.
Yeah.
In Broadbeach in a 5-star hotel with breakfast, with afternoon drinks, a cheese platter and all that stuff. And for 8 days, it was $1,580 or something like that. Peak season, right in Broadbeach.
That's
it's where we had our event. Actually, that's the hotel.
Okay. Cool. Oh, the Sofitel.
Sofitel, right?
Yeah, right. There we go. I'm going to drop a name.
Yeah, you don't forget to drop in, right? Exactly. And that was through like the brand Luxury Escapes.
Wow.
Did all my airfares, did everything for me, and it was like under $2,500, which is unheard of. Like this is unheard of, these type of prices. And I rang the hotel to ask them, and they go, no, we can't. We
can't match it.
Yeah. So do you see? And while you were just talking about TV, one of our other clients, Corey's just been doing TV, right?
Yes.
And he was telling me he spent 20,000. People go, 20 grand a month? Are you nuts? And he just closed over $1.5 million in deals. So 20 deals, $1.5 million, which tick, right?
It works.
Tick. Yeah, absolutely. Like 33% or something.
If you've got 20 grand a month.
Well, if you got 20 grand a month, but he took that go. Once again, this is local community TV.
Yeah.
Canberra, Wagga, Riverina, any of these areas. So today, especially radio and TV, because there's so many people watching that, as a medium, sitting at home, COVID thing, right? There's as good opportunities on, old traditional media as it would, digital media. So I'll probably just keep away from, newspapers and crap like that, but the other ones are definitely worth viewing. And he went full out with 20 G's, but you don't have to do that. It could be a 5,000 a month.
Yeah, you can scale it back. It could be $2,000 a month or something like that.
Correct. So there's some really good deals, especially radio deals and stuff.
Just to wrap that up, guys. So you really need it in this marketing environment right now, this business environment right now, from a marketing perspective, you need a healthy mix of online and offline work if there's offline opportunities available in your market space. So making sure that you've got a blend of the two. And in terms of reaching out to your market, like Nick said, number one, what can you teach or how can you add value in terms of knowledge or educating your audience? And number two, how can you add monetary value in the way of an offer? And you were talking about DIY July, Nick. If you're paying attention to anything Bunnings is doing right now, it's all DIY July. They are completely and utterly educating people on what they can be doing in their homes. They don't sell anything. I think organically, obviously, you go, oh, wow, that's a wonderful bathroom renter. I should go and buy my paint from Bunnings. But the moral of that story is they're really teaching people what they can be doing right now in this market. And that's online and offline. So, make sure that you've got both or a mix of both, and make sure that you're applying those two steps, both teaching people something and adding monetary value on the way through. Cool. Next question, or the next thing we want to cover is one of our last episodes that we spoke about, or we're running a couple of episodes back, you were talking about keeping your body in check. And it was something that we kind of moved through quite quickly, but, a lot of people are interested in, looking after themselves and keeping themselves in check throughout any form of business, whether it's, high peak, high stress, or just standard, run of the mill, everyday business activity. So what did you mean exactly by keeping your body in check? Is there like a couple of steps to work on here, or is this something that we should be paying attention to daily? Like, can you elaborate a bit more?
Yeah, sure. I think of it like this. The strength of any business is based on the people that work in that business, because until, forms of robotics take over, we're still in command, which is kind of good. Right?
We're still here. Yeah.
We're still here, right? And so I think about it like this. If you're totally out of shape, you're drinking, taking drugs, smoking, any of these type of things that lower the performance or the frequency of the body, you can understand everything becomes a struggle. And I see this all the time, pulling with the car, see tradies, they're all drinking V and Red Bull, and, everybody's addicted to these type of, stay awake substances, where in actual fact, all it's doing is caning the body
Yeah,
badly.
that's the
Now,
typical tradies breakfast, isn't it? Coffee,
typical tradies
sugar,
breakfast or
that's
a
it.
bucket of coffee.
Bucket
Now,
of
not
coffee.
just tradies, by the way. This could be anybody. So
Mm.
we're addicted to these stimulant type drugs. They don't have drugs written on it, but they're 20 times more powerful than caffeine, and they're full of sugar. So you do the math, right? Now, I'm not saying that you need to, don't ever touch them and do whatever, but everything's in moderation.
Yes.
In the day, this entity can handle it. So when I mean keep the body in check is there's a thing that's called homeostasis. And homeostasis is all nominal systems, all systems at nominal. And here's what I mean, resting heartbeat, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, sugar, stress, all of these things are nominal. Now, what's supposed to happen in a stressful environment, it's called business, is that you're supposed to stress out for a little bit, up to about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max, but then, come back down over a period of time and then you're good to go. And that used to be called the fight or flight syndrome, right?
Mm. Mm.
Something's going to attack you, either you're going to fight it or you're going to run fast,
Yes.
right? Now, in business today, instead of the stress kind of going up and then coming down, what's really starting to happen is we're stressed all the time. Money, projects, dealing with clients, doing all of this stuff. And it's almost like a tap that's dripping into a bucket and it's just filling. Even though it's a little drip, sooner or later, once it's overflowing, the only thing that the water's doing is just overflowing, right? So it's once again keeping the body in check. Now, how do we keep the body in check? If you've got that level of stress, you need to de-stress. How do I de-stress? Well, back off on all the caffeines and sugars, all of that stuff, good start. Number 2, get a good night's sleep as best as you can. And that should be kind of circadian hours. So, if you can be at bed by 10:30, up by 4:35, it's kind of cool. And then the last one is, or do some exercise. The last one is to de-stress your mind, because sometimes a physical strain we can take, it's the mind. And, we've spoken about this where it's really good to meditate or have some guided visualization. That's a part of it. Now, you don't have to cross legs and be a, guru sitting out in the middle of the park and, omming. You just, put your headphones in. A really good one to listen to is Omvana. Omvana, Omvana. It's free. It's 10 minutes worth. Put it in there, and you just relax the mind. That's all it is. Before we used to go to church, right? Humans went to some type of level of prayer, whether it's church or a mosque or wherever you went, to a temple, and you did that a lot. Humans used to do this a lot. At least 3, 4, 5 times a week, people used to go. Or the church on Sundays and maybe, do the rosary at home, all of these things. I know it in my previous generation, well, I did that a lot, right? And that just gave us that little bit of quiet time to just de-stress. No business, no phone ringing, none of that stuff. But now we don't. Now it's on all the time. You go to bed and you watch this. You wake up to this.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel that is what I mean by getting the body on check, body and mind on check. You need to feel physically strong in order for you to do. And remember, the word disease is dis-ease of the body. The only reason we get disease, not 100% time, but a big chunk of the time, is the body is at dis-ease, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually.
Right.
All of these create energy.
Yep.
And that energy, it's like getting a, blowtorch to a piece of metal. Sooner or later, that metal will blow through because it gets too hot, can't handle it. Molecular structure changes and it blows through.
Right.
And that's what happens to the body. That concentrated energy. So when you've got hate, stress, disappointment, anger, frustration, all of these things are mental, emotional issues, that then our organ structure is kind of connected with each different one of those stresses. It affects a different organ.
Yeah. Cool.
And we can get it. Maybe that could be another time for another podcast.
I think we could roll that one next time. Actually,
Yeah.
that was good, and hopefully, you found some value in that. I know that I did. I think a big point, and I kind of want to, I'll finish on this because we've been rapping for about 20 minutes today. So we'll leave the last question until next time we speak. But the big part of this, and I say this to all the business owners that I work with, is you need to make it a priority. Because a lot of people will listen to what you've just said, Nick, and go, that's true. I am stressed and I need to de-stress, or I am, anxious. How do I reverse that? And it's kind of taking stock of the situation and going, okay, I need to reverse this in some way. But then people carry on doing what they're doing, which doesn't change anything. So recognizing that there may be an underlying issue, whether it's lack of sleep, they're feeling anxious about something, frustrated because of some other, event or something that's going on in their business. You've got to make it a priority, guys, to spend time on yourself and I guess correcting the course, if you want to put it that way. Your burning through metal was perfect analogy there, I think. You can keep the fire on the metal for a certain period of time, with the business is the fire on the business owner for a certain period of time, but eventually that metal's going to blow out.
It's interesting, just to finish with that, if you really took stock of how many business owners across the board, across the world, are just tired all the time and stressed out and all that stuff. And as you know, we've all got businesses. I think, Red Bull will go broke. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. But it's just, and everybody handles stress differently. I spoke to a guy, obviously, one of my educators, Paul Check, and, there was another doctor that he brought to one of our, lectures and stuff. And people go, I deal with stress really well. In actual fact, it's better that you don't deal with it from the perspective of to try to handle a lot of stress before you sort of blow your valve. It's better to go handle stress and dissipate it, handle stress and dissipate it.
Yes.
Handle stress and dissipate it rather than it accumulating. Because all they do, funny enough, if you keep on stressing, either they're going to cut parts out of you, or, right, the doctor's going to go, hey, it's cool, sorry, we got it too late. That's all it is. Yep. And this is why people, we look at our grandparents and shit like that. Live until 80s, 90s, 100s. No stress. Just think about it. Stress is what kind of gets you on everything, doesn't it? You physically feel not too cool. You demotivate yourself. Mentally feels like your head's all over the place. You're eating sugary stuff to keep on going and carby-based stuff because you need energy. Because the brain, all this brain is it's using a hell of a lot of your energy to deal with the stress. That's why you reach for sugary stuff. Right. It's crazy, right? Like, this is an intelligent system up here. I need power because I need to handle all of this stuff that you're bringing to me. Have you ever noticed when you're on holiday, you usually don't stress, or you get a flu or something like that? Like, because your body just goes, oh, I need to rest now. And the repair systems go to work on repairing your flu or your, I don't know, whatever, sore neck or whatever it may be. Right. You ever notice that? Like, a lot of people get it while they're on holiday.
Yeah, I sometimes get sick as soon as I've got time off. 3 or 4 days in, boom. And I always blame the plane. I'm like, it was the plane. It was full of germs. But it wasn't. Probably not the plane. Probably just the body's in that, fight mode or flight mode, and it's like constantly on edge.
Yeah. Well, how many times you go away for 8 days? You go, I needed 2 to kind of get into it. And then at 8, you go, oh, God, I wish there was another 2 because I need it. At least 2
or another 20.
Isn't it like that? Because I need it. Yeah, that's how it is, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let's finish on that. And I think we'll make this part of the theme for the next episode. So if you want to catch the next episode, guys, please head to peopleprofitspurpose.com. Or if you want to follow us, you can check us out on Spotify, or we're also on YouTube now as well. These obviously podcasts are in video format. You can actually listen to us in the background or watch the videos there as well. So, and if you have any other questions that you want us to throw into these podcast coaching conversations, throw your questions through to askitupcoach.com.au. We'll be happy to break down your questions or your thoughts or anything you'd like to chat about in these episodes. So thanks so much for your time, Nick.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll see you all again and talk to you all again real soon. So bye now.
Ciao.